Hello, welcome back to Let's Play Pillars of Eternity, where we have recently picked up a new member. And we're going to have to equip her fairly soon. Not right now, I don't think. Ooh, the game is moving very slowly. Let's look at her. Her name is Grieving Mother. She is a Cipher, a class I have not had a chance to play yet. Fine padded armor. Let's look at her character sheet. What is her... Okay. I guess there is no particular proficiency for weapons and such. Hmm. She's very good at stealth, high intelligence, high dexterity. Hmm. Got a lot of spells here. We'll have to see what they do. Shocks an enemy's visual receptors, dazing and blinding them as well as blinding nearby targets. Ice Strike. Mind Wave. Target becomes the object of a concussive blast of psychic energy, suffering raw damage from the trauma. Characters in a conical area behind the target, failing a fortitude check, are knocked prone from the blast. Whisper of Trees in combat only. Imparts a bedeviling secret to an enemy that causes allegiance to bend, charming them for the duration. Wow. There's second wind. Mind Blades. Co-ops the target's essence, generating a slashing blade of force that attacks them from before leaping to up to 5 additional targets. Invades the minds of targets in the area of effect, causing them to believe they are surrounded by phantom foes, leaving them flanked for the duration. That's nice. Recall Agony. Causes the target to relive the psychic trauma of an injury moments after receiving it, experiencing the damage all over again. 30% of all damage reapply. For the next 16 seconds, they get 30% of all damage from, oh wow. Okay. Fractured Volition. That was... Recall Agony. Okay. Fractured Volition. Violates an enemy's memories to bring vivid recollections of past failures to the surface, leaving the target hobbled and weakened. Destroys a target's psychic defenses, leaving them dominated by the cipher for the duration. Forces an enemy's soul to leak energy, igniting the air around them, burning them over time. Pales the target with a lance of pure force, inflicting major pierce damage to anyone in the line of attack with a high chance of causing an interrupt. Oof. Provides an ally with a mental block on his or her pain, granting a bonus to their damage reduction and regenerating endurance over time. Produces a psychic howl, silent scream, in the targeted area, stunning the target as well as dealing raw damage to all enemies within. Stands a high chance of causing an interrupt. Hi, Kitty. Hi, Foxy. You're a big fox. Okay, now I did not go into any of these buildings as far as I know. We are supposed to be investigating a nearby set of ruins, but there is this weird thing with the potentially insane Orlan killing children. I think there's something unstated about that. There's also this thing with some lord or lady. Deerford Mill. Winfrith's Arms and Armory. Indina's Apothecary. Oh, and there's an ogre that is stealing sheep. Let's see. Farmer's Blood Legacy. Lady Alis Haran has disappeared in the quiet town of Deerford. Lord Haran is sick with worry for her and fears that the townsfolk are intentionally keeping something from her. She's a powerful cipher who shrouds herself from plain view, yet even though our minds experience powerful communion, I know little about her or where she came from. When I first encountered the grieving mother on the road, I experienced a dream, or was it a memory of childbirth? Perhaps grieving mother herself can explain what I saw. Farmer's Plight. Pig farmer. in Deerford told me about an ogre that made off with his herd. He wants the pigs, not sheep. He wants the ogre dead and bring me its head. Somewhere outside of Deerford village, mentioned the ogre has been spotted around Deerford, but he wasn't sure exactly where it dwells. Trigil might know about the whereabouts of this ogre. His shop is in front of a half-collapsed tower. Was there anything more? Was there some tasks? Find Nifri and lure her out. Medivh told me he's looking for Nifri, a murderer from Defiant Space, killed dozens of women, dozens of children. If I find her, it seems odd someone like Medivh would send after Nifri. He doesn't exactly look official. Bounty, countryside, Elmshore. We're not there yet. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, everybody, please. This is arms and armor.
Certainly.
We probably don't have the money necessary to do much here. Might affects all damage and healing done by the character and their fortitude defense. It may also be used in conversations and scripted interactions for tests of strength and power. Cool. It affects healing. That sounds like rather like the captain from Lord of the Rings Online. Captain, my captain. I need to cook on Lord of the Rings Online. Oh, I did not hit the timer. I'm going to assume I was piddling around for about 5 minutes or 6 minutes and say put it to about 17. Here. Ooh. You are a vibrant history. Let's look at Winfrith.
How do you do?
Haven't seen you before. Always glad to see a new face in town. Company's good for business and chatter's good for the soul. That's what I always say. Anyway, what can I do for you? What's been going on in Deerford? Oh, we're a quiet little town. Not much happens here, especially not since the legacy hit. People realized they couldn't have babies and just stopped trying altogether. And that takes a lot of the excitement out of the day-to-day, if you can believe it. Show me what you have for sale. The Hours of St. Rumbolt. It's a great sword. Nobody in my group uses great swords. There are a lot of great swords. Ooh, that is a unique spear. See you in a moment. I am hearing something going off in the kitchen. Hello, welcome back, and I apologize for that. I had hot chocolate going. Let's see. They're about the same value. Oh. Okay, Gladhaleth is doing more damage. Same accuracy. Adds burn damage. They both have fine. Retezi's Thorn increases accuracy when you start and damage when you start going below 50% endurance, and it adds crush damage. The sight of Retezi on the battlefield was something no other combatant ever forgot. Stalking short even by Orlan standards, Retezi insisted on using a spear in lieu of any other weapon offered to him. To the frequent shock of his comrades, Retezi proved an unstoppable force on the battlefield. No matter how overwhelming the odds, Retezi could take down opponents with almost comical ease, leaping great heights to bring his spear down upon his foes with crushing force. Whenever it seemed that Retezi might at last meet his end, the fearless Orlan would find a second wind and fight with renewed conviction. Seriously, let's see. Base 13 to 18. Is there an increased? How much does it cost? It's out of our price range right now, so there's no point in trying to look at it. Ooh, tall grass looks like a spear as well. It's a pike. That's a pike. We don't have anybody using pikes. What about the Grudge Keeper? It is not soulbound, so it's probably not better than the one we already have. Mosquito. A Rapier. This really makes me want to play someone who uses a Rapier in this game. Finely crafted but unassuming Rapier was created in the hot and humid forest of Sithwood. Fine Shield. Angio's Gambison. That's not going to compare to what she's wearing, but let's see how... Oh, I don't have enough for it, but... Compare. It is almost the same thing. This adds some other benefits on top of things, but it's almost the same thing. Boots of Zealous Command. Only usable by Paladin. We don't have any Paladins. Only usable by Chanter. 20% chant area of effect. We are getting that. Oh, I guess we're getting a grappling hook too. Oh, you don't have any room. Eder can carry it. That seems to be all you have. What are you using? You're using a dagger. Can we get you something better than a dagger? There's a fine spear. The mosquito wasn't beyond our price range, but now it is. Let's see if there's We've done a lot of selling recently, so it's all gone. Okay. Well, I think we're fine where you are. Have to keep aware of you. You don't have much in the way of items. Let's have you use that crossbow for now, so you're staying out of the line of fire. And let's give you some quick items. Ooh, that's neat. Why does it shake like that? Okay. I think Winfrith is just for buying stuff here. Clicking an item in a container while holding the shift key will move it directly to your stash. I did not know that. That is useful information. Now, the reason I'm having hot chocolate instead of soda like I usually do is because of Lent. And no, it's not because I gave up caffeine, because if I gave up caffeine, I would still not be drinking hot cocoa. No. I put a budget on myself of 3,000 yen a week for Lent. And I hit the end of that budget on, I believe, Friday. And it started, of course, because Lent starts on a Wednesday.
You fought for the Deerwood in the Saints' War?
We better grab a couple pints before you get me going on that one.
No complaints here.
Okay. Those two get along really well. And so I'm going off of the food I already have in the house, since I can't buy any new food until Wednesday. I have money, but Lenten sacrifice is 3,000 yen a week, except for the stuff for school lunches, because I have to eat lunch in front of kids, and I can't use religion as an excuse to not looking like I'm doing a good meal in front of the kids. Anyway. And I consider it a, well, let's see what's in it real quick. We're not going to steal mushrooms. I mostly consider it a self-discipline thing rather than a religious thing anyway. I know it's part of being Catholic. But... And now you hear me rambling on about stuff. Villager and villager. Villagers have anything to say? Can't remember the last time we had a healthy birth in the village. That's not good to say. Not many new faces these days. Most are eager to leave Deerfoot. If my suspicion is correct, and all this is because you killed the god of rebirth, I have a feeling that this problem is going to start spreading past the Deerfoot. Deerfoot? The tombstone icon indicates a memorial. These are personalized, and I don't have time to read it. Oh, you're a vibrant soul, aren't you? Let's read one. You see a modestly furnished house, warm from the cooking fire lit at its far end. The man is sitting in a high-backed chair, looking at a large book with a small boy in his lap. He smiles and asks the child about the pictures on the pages as he points to different parts of them. He looks up as a woman approaches to stir something in the pot hanging over the fire. She adds some carrots to the pot, mixes them in, and then stands and turns to the man. She says something to him and leans in to give him a kiss when a knock comes at the door. The man makes to stand, and the woman motions for him to stay. She walks to the door and glances out the window. It is already too dark outside for anything to be seen. She lifts the bolt on the door and pulls it open, revealing a tall, lanky man with a strange smile on his face. There is a wet tearing sound, and the woman makes a weak groan, collapsing to the floor, blood quickly pooling around her. The man in the chair leaps to his feet, grabbing his son, interposing himself between the boy and the man at the door, who steps over the body and enters the house. Galark vowed you would feel his pain, the man said conversationally as 4 other men entered the house behind him. It appears your rent has come due. They sent people to kill his family. Oh, I wish I could do something for him. But that's not a quest. Weapons, shields, and armor with properties fine, exceptional, superb grant bonuses to the basic properties of the item like accuracy, damage, deflection, and all damage reduction. I wish I could enchant my Maleficent hat. I am not giving up the Maleficent hat. I don't care if I find one that actually gives me a bonus. I like having the Maleficent hat. I just wish I could enchant the Maleficent hat. I mean, oh no, I want to look at the Maleficent hat. Look at it! It's cool! And I can't enchant it, but it is cool! Okay. I do not want to get rid of the Zareep Spear, even though it is not unique. It is sentimental reasons why. And it's getting pretty nasty, actually. Okay. What is this? Potions for sale, potions,
Greetings.
and Awano. Hindina. A young woman leans against a wagon. One arm and one side of her face are covered in bandages, with raw, rippled flesh showing underneath. A minty, tangy scent wafts from her dressing. Just ventured into town. I'm about dry. I still have some of my stocks, but you're welcome to have a look-see. Why are your stocks limited? The damn roads can't reach none of my supplies, so I'm stuck with whatever I can scrounge up in the woods. Deer cap, wiver reed, and like. That's all well and good, but most potions require something stronger too. Troll skin, vessel, bone, what have you. And then there's the really rare ingredients, things you'd never be able to afford, let alone find on your own. What did you find? Hindina winces as the rest of the story comes tumbling out of her. I've been keeping an eye on a drake's nest east of town at Deerford Crossing. The beast stayed just long enough to lay a clutch and move on. Thank the Sky Mother it wasn't a full-grown dragon. She looks at her bandaged arm and grimaces. Fresh eggs are much more useful than the ones that get passed between merchants or left in nest for weeks or more, and that clutch looked looked to be at its peak. Thought I'd see about getting an egg, but I didn't realize so many of them had already hatched. Oh, that young worms are so territorial. I could get you an egg for you. She keeps her gaze steady, but you see hope kindling in her eyes, twitching at the corners of her mouth. I sure hope you're not leading me on. I don't think I could stand getting burned again. She bites her lip. You really mean to go after it? I'd certainly pay you. Just remember, big as they are, dragon eggs are fragile. There's a lot more I can do with a whole...
Hail and well met.
Anything else I can do for you? I got some handy ointments if you're braving the roads anytime soon. How did you get burned? By the flame. How bad does it look? Just say it. I know you'll tell me straight. It looks like it hurts. That's my soft way of putting it. I told you about my run-in with worms. I reckon you put the rest together. Looking for an Orlon named Knifey? I did see an Orlon lady heading to the Dracogen just the other day. Don't know what her name was, but she was acting real sneaky-like. What's wrong with the roads? Brigands... Noise of disgust rattles from her throat. Brigands, looters, you name it. The gods be hollowing out our babies, but it's grown folk that's rubbing out the rest of us. People are scrambling to Defiance Bay because they hear there's healthy births there, and all those refugees and abandoned homes attract desperate sorts like flies on dog shit. Sorry about that? Let's see what your wares are. Sure thing. Shelves of her cart contain jars, vials, and bundled paper packets. I suppose I'm doing the voice. I suppose I could grab some of this stuff. See how much I can get. See how much it'll cost me to get everything. Ooh. Getting everything looks like it's not going to be a viable solution. Nope. I'm going to cancel that. Yes. And please tell me I didn't spend that money. I did not. Good. I have all my copper. Remember when I thought those were currency points? Remember that? Trigill's Curiery.
That's fragrant.
It's a tanner, isn't it? Yeah. Well, we know who not to vote for come the morning. And yes, that is a One Night Ultimate Werewolf reference. I can't find it anywhere. I never... Trigo. We'll talk about this later. Get back to the dice. I'll take care of our customer.
Gods keep you.
Sturdy, broad-shouldered man wipes his hands on his slacks. He reeks of the same foul compound wafting from the vats. His arms are stained with dye. You looking to purchase some leather? Rumble mentioned something about an ogre? He's hardly talked about anything else since those pigs of his went missing. The whole town's been worried about that monster. People are starting to see shapes in their windows at night, hearing its growl and the snoring of their mates. I would put a lot of minds at ease if someone got rid of it. I sometimes venture into the wilderness, collecting ingredients for my dyes, mind you. I've seen tracks east of here, near the river. That couldn't have been anything else. We'll finish this conversation, go to a new video. He wipes a splotch of dye from his elbow with his shirt tail. Something else you need? Well, that's good enough. We'll go to a new video now. Talk to you, and we'll... it doesn't really make it mean anything. I think we'll finish this conversation completely. What's in the collapsed tower? It's collapsed. Nothing. Few hides on stretching racks, and the tallow stench Dingler's always grumbling about. The rest of the keep's dust, just like the fool Lady Thanu who tried to hold it. There's a bard at the end who'll tell you the whole blazing story, if you want to hear it. That sounds interesting. Have you seen Knifey and Orlon from Defiance Bay? I make it to a point to keep out of other people's business. And we'll look at what he has for sale. Exceptional hide armor, which we cannot afford. Girdle of Mortal Protection, minus 27% of... That's pretty awesome. What's Troll Hide do? Plus 1 endurance per 3 seconds. That's a regeneration item. Moment here. There's an exceptional dagger. You are wearing a belt. What does Woodskin do? That's pretty nice. Okay. Anyway, switching to a new video. See you in a little bit.